Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Academy. In this video, we're going to be talking about the CSS pseudo classes. So it says a CSS pseudo class is a keyword that can be added to a selector to define a style for a special state of an element. So we have some common use for the pseudo classes. We have style and element when a user moves the mouse over it. Style visited and unvisited link differently. We've done this in link. I hope you remember. Style and element when it gets focus. Style valid slash invalid, required, optional, form, element. And style and element that is the first child of its parent. So we're going to do all of this. Then we have a syntax that it says pseudo classes are always denoted by a single colon followed by a pseudo class name. So this is how it works. The selector, then the pseudo class name property. So yeah, we use the over pseudo class and the focus pseudo class when you over on it. So we'll do our own example. Then we have the pseudo class used the link. So for HTML link, it is common to use the following pseudo class. That is the link which comes first, the visited, the over, and the active link. So let's create our own example. But don't forget, we have a note. It says the over must come after a link and the visited in the CSS definition in order to be effective. Active must come after over in the CSS definition in order to be effective. Pseudo class name are not case sensitive. So let's move. So we can like take all of this out. So yeah, we'll have H2, and inside this two says styling a link depending on state. So yeah, after that, we're going to create a p tag, and inside this p tag, I hope you know bold. We're going to create a bold, and we're going to create this default.html. Then we would have a target, and the target will be blank. So inside that link, we'll say this is a link. This is a link. Yeah, correct. Correct. Then after that, we can have a p tag bold saying make sure all of these comes first. Like the link, link, visited, active, and over and active. Over and active. Good. Now we are going to style it. Let's come here. So the first thing we are going to do is, since we are working on anchor tag, we'll say the link. The first thing we want it to do is to give us the color, which is red. Then the next thing we want is, hey, a visited, and the color should be green. Should be green. Then the next one we're going to use is the over blue. We can have, then give me active yellow. Good. Now let's check what we have. As you can see, this is a link. When I over on it, it is giving me blue. Once I click on it, it is giving me yellow and can you see red? So that is the four of them: red, green, visited, green, over, blue, yellow, active. Then let's move to the next one. So those are the first aspects. Then let's move. So we have the next one, which is the over on div effect. That is, here is an example for using the over pseudo class on a div element. So we're going to create example on the over. We're going to create example on the focus on. Then we're going to create example on this pseudo class and the HTML class. Let's firstly move to the over effect. We can comment this out so it does not affect what we've done so far. Then I'll come here. Let's just say H2 I want to say hover on div. Then we're going to come to our p tag. We'll say mouse over the div element to trigger the over effect. Then, so let's create a div. We'll create a div and we'll say mouse over me. So let's start our div. I hope we don't have any div available. Yes. So now let's start our div. We would come here, we'll say div. And inside this div, what do we want? We want a background color, which should be green. We want, okay, we want the color to be white. We also want the padding to be 25 pixel, or we can give it 20 pixel, and we want text align center. Good. Now let's check this. This is just the over effect. Now let's see what we have. So this is the over effect. Now let's over on it. Oh, our over is not taking effect. What's the issue? Oh, I forgot to create another one. We'll say div dot over. Then you give me a background color, which is blue. Now let's see. It should work now. So can you see it? This is the over effect that we just did. This is how it works, the over effect. So now let's move to the next one, which is the focus on effects. Do we need to comment this out? Yes, so it will not affect what we've done so far. So let's move to the next one. In this aspect, we'll also create a H2. Inside this H2, we'll say focus, using focus. Remember, it is not case sensitive. Then what are we going to do? We're going to create a form. Then inside this form, we would have action, which will be action underscore page dot php. This is all just a single distance. I can say method is equals to, we're using the get method this time around, get, not post. Then after that, inside this would have our first name input. We can have this. We can have our last name input. Then we can go ahead with this. Then the input type submit. Then now let's come and style it. We'll come here, we'll say input dot focus. Let's give it a background color of yellow. Now let's see what we have. This is when we want to input it. So this is the focus. This is what's giving us. When we want to input a value. So that is the focus. So that is that for the focus. Then the next one we have is the pseudo classes and the HTML classes. Like we commented this out. So let's comment this out too. So now we'll come here, we'll say H2. So we're working on the pseudo class and HTML class. Then the first thing we want to do is we want to create a p tag, and inside this p tag we are creating an anchor tag. I would give it a class. Let's give it class equals to highlight. Then we can say href equals to CSS underscore syntax dot ASP. Then we can say CSS syntax here. Then after that, we'll have another p tag, which will say inside it will have h1. Then this would not have this. Then this default dot ASP. Then we are removing this highlight away. This class highlights. We don't need it. You can call this tutorial CSS tutorial. Now let's style it. So we'll say a dot highlight with the pseudo over element. Since we are working on pseudo over element, we want our background color to be yellow. We want our color to be white. And we also want our font size to be, let's say 20 pixel. Yeah. So now let's check it out. Oh, it's not taking effect. What happened? Okay, we don't have a T here. And let's probably check. Okay. Oh, missed. We also didn't. Oh, it should be class. Now, it should take effect right now. So now let's try to over on it. Can you see what the over effect is giving us? When we over on this yellow, it's giving us effect. But since we didn't put this over effect on this second one, so it's not taking effect. So that is what the CSS versus the HTML classes. And we also have this simple tooltip over, that is over on a div element to show a p tag. Then we have the next one, the CSS first child pseudo class. The first child pseudo class matches a specific element that is the first child of another element. So start out the first child p tag element. I hope you understand everything I've taught you so far. Thank you for watching this video. Please do well to follow us across all socials at Tech Academy. See you next time. Bye.